Hi everyone, it's Olivia for this week's Saturday Screen Suggestions. Today I thought I'd play on the fact that I'm a massive book lover, which probably you've gleaned already, and to talk about some TV series that have come out in the last couple of years that are based on books. I've personally watched all of these and they're fantastic, and that's why I thought I wanted to talk about them today. I'll suggest where you can watch them. Obviously, they're probably available to buy everywhere now, but I've got recommendations of where you can go and watch them for free, hopefully, depending on if you've got subscriptions to Netflix and Amazon, those sorts of things. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoy this video, and let me know in the comments below if you've either read the book version or you've watched the TV series, and let me know what you think. The first one that I wanted to talk about is Good Omens, which is a book by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and it was recently turned into a TV series and it's available on Amazon Prime. So I watched this quite recently, and it's a comedy, but it's about the birth of the son of Satan and the coming of the end times, and it's about an angel and also a demon working together to try and stop Armageddon. It stars David Tennant and Michael Sheen, and it's a really good laugh, and I think I sat and watched it in one go on a rainy Sunday. So head over to Amazon Prime if you've got a subscription with them to watch that. Secondly, I thought I'd go for Catch 22, which is a TV series that came out last year based on a book by Joseph Heller. Book came out years ago now. The TV series stars George Clooney as well as a few other people you probably recognise. Like I say, it came out on Channel 4 last year, and I think it's still available to watch on Channel 4 OD. So it's about a young man in World War II who's based out in Italy as part of a bombing squadron, and is involved in a lot of dangerous flights. And I think the life expectancy of people back in the bombing squadrons was like 6 flights or something ridiculous. But they said that they have to complete a certain amount of flights, which I think was sort of like 10, 15, 20 flights before they're allowed to leave the service in the army. And because this young fella thought that he'd probably die before that happened, he tried to find a way out of the army, and found that there's a catch-22 in that people that are deemed to be insane and not safe to work in the army would get discharged. But when he approached high management and said that he is clinically insane, they said only sane people would use that as an excuse to get out of the army. So he's caught in this catch-22 of how he's going to escape his service. So yeah, that's on Channel 4 OD. The next one I'm going to talk about is probably one of the most recent ones. So it's His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. So if you've ever seen The Golden Compass, which is a film that came out probably about 10 years ago now with Nicole Kidman in, it's the same story as that. But that's the first part of the His Dark Materials series. So what the TV show is basically about is sort of an alternate world where everyone has a physical representation of their soul, which is called a demon, and it's a little animal creature. So it sounds a bit strange, and it is a young adult book, but it's a fantastic series, not just for kids, it's mainly for adults. And it's about a young orphan that lives at Oxford University, and it's about how she investigates a series of kidnappings of children after her own friend gets kidnapped. So if you've ever read the Dark Materials series, which I have, and I absolutely loved it, it's a really, really good adaptation. It's got Ruth Wilson and James McAvoy in, and it was recently on iPlayer, so it should still be on there, I believe, because that's where I watched it originally. Next, I want to talk about Big Little Lies, which is a book by Liane Moriarty, and was turned into a TV series, or in fact 2 TV series now, a few years ago. It was shown on Sky, and I believe it's still available on there, and it's about 5 women and how they're involved in a murder investigation out in small town Monterey in California. There's loads of people in it you'd know, Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman, Shailene Woodley. So loads of, and that's just a few. There's loads of people in it, huge cast, and the most recent series even had Meryl Streep in, and it's just fantastic if you've not watched it already. So that, like I say, is on Sky. And finally, probably one of my favourites in regards to every time I know there's a new series come out, I'm eagerly anticipating it, is The Handmaid's Tale, which is a book by Margaret Atwood, and recently a sequel came out to that book called The Testaments, I believe, and this was sort of 30 odd years down the line after she wrote her first book. So it is set in the near future, where reproduction is at its all-time low due to some sort of issue with all the women, and so what happens is that women basically become enslaved and used for their reproductive abilities, and sort of forced into trying to create children to repopulate the earth. It's absolutely fantastic. Not really anyone in it that you'd sort of know until you've watched the series. And I think there's been 3 or 4 series by now. The first 2 series I looked, and they are on Now TV. If you want to watch the most recent series, I think you're going to have to buy them, unfortunately. So like I said at the start of this video, if you've either read the book version of any of the things that I talked about today, or you've watched the TV series, put a comment below about if you enjoyed it or not, and also put any comments below about other TV series that are sort of book adaptations, and let me know, because I'm always keen to find others.